So let's get going. If you guys are ready, if you guys don't know me, my name is Khad. I've been on this app for about 3 years, teaching everybody how to be in a better connection with their inner self, to have set intentions that are beneficial to them, to let go of the past, and to project forward with faith, with confidence, with direction, and with the support of a group of women who've been doing this maybe a little bit longer and putting our energies together for the benefit of all of us. I got this email from a queen in our group, and it contains a few of these ideas. So let's talk about it. Hey Mona, it's been 3 years since I gave up on manifesting my SP. SP, if you guys don't know, means specific person, when you want somebody specifically. As you know, in that time, I met my boyfriend, who I'm very happy with, and not only is he a better man in every way than my SP, but the life I will lead with him is more authentic to me, and it is much more me-centered. With my SP, I would have had many family obligations, and I would not have had the room to explore my own hobbies and evolution of self. With my boyfriend, I am free to be as self-centered as I want to be, as he orients his entire life around me. I am emailing you with this as a cautionary story for other queens, and also for your insight on something. I continue to have occasional dreams about my SP. They are always about running into each other or getting back in contact. This is not something I want to happen. When you mentioned the other day about having some unrealized manifestations in your queue, blocking others, I've been working on immediately thought of 2 big ones that all of my SP manifesting is blocking. So she's saying she was trying to manifest her SP for a very long time, and this may be blocking some other manifestations. Continuing, I realized that part of me wanted vindication. I did want to run into him again and see that he is in love with me, which unlike some SP stories, I do feel confident he is. So in order to fully remove that manifestation from my queue, I let that go and make peace with never seeing or hearing from him again. But ever since setting that intention, I have dreams about him sometimes. I do not check his social media or fantasize about him or want him in any way during waking hours. I think by manifesting him for years, I did very serious energy work that is difficult to undo, both in my own subconscious, and I do think it's possible I impressed myself onto him too deeply. I would appreciate your input on unraveling this further. I think that marriage is one manifestation that has been stalled in my queue. It's stalled, like it's not happening because of the SP manifestation, as well as a big financial career manifestation that, as you said, would not have been coherent with manifesting my SP, though they are very coherent with a new life with my boyfriend. So this is very interesting, right? Excuse me. Guys, please don't call me. I don't take calls during my live. Just give me 1 second here. Okay. So we'll talk about the SP, and we'll talk about manifestation in the queue. So basically what happens, it depends on your intention, how strong the strongest intention is will determine the alignment of all the other manifestation. So let's say you have 4 goals in all areas of life, but one will always have more of a pull than the other. So in this case, it's clear she was obsessed with her SP for a few years. And even though she wanted to manifest a business or whatever else she said, I'm not sure, marriage or something like that, it's all aligning based on manifesting that one desire that is primary. So please remember this in your work. And if you're honest with yourself, if you look at your list, especially if you're doing my work with intentions in every area of life, highlight the one that you feel has the most pull. And if that one is incoherent with all the other ones, just know that all the other ones generally get queued behind it. And a manifestation or an intention or a desire that's been projected for years and years with a lot of feeling and emotion and obsession, you can't just go back to the drawing board very simply and say, oh, you know what, I changed my mind. This guy actually wouldn't be good for me. There'll be another guy, or this career not. If you are obsessed with something, just know that that cord has been created, especially with people. Now, unfortunately, we were taught, or this whole manifestation community has told you guys, not me, but other people, that you can easily skew the will of another and make them do whatever it is you want to do because you've seen 10 videos where, you know, girls made men obsessed with them or what have you. And I'm not saying that can happen. I discuss how that can happen. But I'm saying in general, it doesn't happen. In general, it's connected to the other person's position within this game. So no, you are not the only person who's alive. No, you are not God. But yes, you do have a lot of power to shape your reality. The problem is if you're trying to skew the will of another who is of higher order in terms of their own intention, their own energy and what they want within the game, i.e. they are more coherent, you will not be able to skew them. Or sometimes you're able to skew a person, but then they realign, right? You know that boyfriend that keeps coming and going, he told you he didn't love you, but then he just keeps coming back and says, I don't know why I can't stop thinking about you because you're doing all this projection, but he leaves again because people tend to align with the life force and energetic signature that's directing them. So there's one that's directing them, there's one that's directing you. And please understand, if you live in the world, there's no way you have enough energy to sustain the same direction for two people who don't want to go in the same direction, for you and for him, if he actually didn't want to, unless you completely squash his consciousness. And this is where this horror stories you see, oh, he's become obsessed with me, he was waiting outside my work, waiting outside. Listen, a guy who's becoming really obsessed and really, it's like witchcraft, that guy is not going to produce anything in this world. He's not going to have money to take care of you. He's not going to be a normal person socially, right? He's constantly going to be jealous. He's constantly going to be on you. He's going to demand so much of you, so much of that. You will be so sick of that interaction that you'll be like, what have I done? Which is what, sometimes you see online, these crazy stories about men going nuts, or sometimes it's even women. So that's the part about DSP. What has happened in this case is this queen came into my content, is part of our group for quite a few years. As she was talking, she came to probably manifest her SP. But what has happened since she joined us and fell into this energy of what I started here, unlike other people, is not getting exactly what's in your paper, is getting what is good for you. So getting what is good for you, many people do have an idea what's good for them. So for example, she knew she wanted a man in her life. She was a single mom, but she was focused on this one specific man. She fell into this work and she met someone amazing. And how do we have the proof of this? Is the fact that it's been 3 years. It's been 3 years since she gave up manifesting DSP, and around the same time she met this boyfriend. So it's continuing to be really good for her. This is also my measurement for my own life, right? Are things going well for a long period of time? Not just I landed this job and 3 months later, I was like, oh, not just I got this man and now we broke up. It has to work for a long period of time, okay? This is the measurement of true manifestation, now manifestation is not the right word, of true reality alignment with your intention, rather. Now, I want you to remember something important that I haven't talked about in a long time. We don't actually make anything happen. This is a key idea in my particular content. Things happen in response to us. I'm not making meeting someone happen. I'm not making getting a new project happen. I'm not making any of these things happen with the great power of my mind or my white candle. All of these things happen in response to me, my vibration, how much I hold my intention, if my intention is aligned with whatever else is happening around me. So for example, the people around you matter, your children, your spouse, whoever else is pulling on your energy. This is what I'm saying. It is very different to sort of steer the world in a certain direction if you're a guru and you live alone in the mountain, than if you are at home, going to work, running a family, or even dating out there, meeting a lot of people. All of these will affect your energetic system. So let's go back to this story. If you have a question about DSP, please feel free. But let's go back to the story. So she's saying she's got this great boyfriend, and she's realizing now, the more we do the work, the more we realize the depth of all of this and the implication of everything that we're doing. So she's saying, I'm realizing now, because I was so obsessed with him, there was two outcomes that were going to be happening. One, I was going to be with him. That didn't happen. Two, I was going to run into him and have this vindication that he's still in love with me, and see him humiliated that I have someone so much better. But both of this manifestation or of this energy pools are affecting what can happen next for her. So right now, because she got into our work, she really desired the partner. She got that partner, the one that's good for her, not the one that she was obsessed with. She's in love with her boyfriend. Everything is going well. But now she's saying the business she wanted to manifest, she knows for a fact that this has been stalled because of this SP manifestation. Because of that, she went back to the drawing board. She's trying to erase this obsession, let go of this, oh, I need to see him and I need to humiliate him and I need to see that he's still in love with me. She completely wants to erase him. So what happens? He's popping up into her dreams constantly and more so. This is completely to be expected when you have held an obsession and you have attached yourself to the energy system of another. I'm sure she fell asleep many times thinking of him. Probably some of those times he was already asleep. So she was able at points to hack his consciousness and created basically a link with someone, which is one of the most dangerous things you can do, because you don't know really if that link is good for you. That's the thing. You don't know. You think you know who's good for you, but trust me, it doesn't work like that. Most of us have no idea who that person is going to be. It is really good not to insist on any specific outcome. Now, your manifestation, your goal should be specific in terms of, yes, what am I trying to get out of my dating life? I want to be married, or I want to meet, like I know an older woman who's dating. She doesn't want to be married. I want to meet a man I can travel with, who can afford to travel, who's able to travel physically. They're in their 70s and what have you. So you have to have a specific goal like that, but not specific in terms of it has to be him. I have to work for company X. Okay, this is what we're talking about. So these cords that are real, that can happen with men, that can happen with your relatives, that can happen with somebody who traumatized you in the past, or somebody you traumatized in your past. Okay, these cords dissolve by constant work on blessing and forgiveness. So what you have done is you created a cord, and now to undo that cord, it's not just to say, I don't want it anymore. It's not just to say, when he pops into my mind, I'm just going to forget about him. It's other intentional work that has a more energetic impact than your previous energetic work. And I want you to say, let's say his name is John, okay? But I don't want you to say this like now with me when you're doing something else, when you're cooking. It has to be a moment, again, when you go to sleep, when you wake up, and you need to do this work for a period of time until you feel it's been dissolved. Until, in this case of this queen, until you feel that you're not dreaming of him anymore. Now, it may be a few weeks or a few months of this. So you just go in and say, John, I bless you. I ask God, the higher power, whoever you want to ask, I ask the universe to remove, to dissolve, to burn any cord that is there between me and you, that I may have formed between me and you. And I ask that everything you hold in your energy system that is mine be returned to me. And I now, if there's anything in my energy system that I took from you or I stole from you while I was doing this work, I'm sorry, and I return it back to you with blessings. May you be blessed. May I be blessed. May everything between us be dissolved now. Okay? So blessings, have what you want. Be happy in your life. Blessings to me. May everything that is mine be returned to me. Everything that is yours be returned to you. I now ask for help and forgiveness that I created this cord, because I realized I didn't know what I was doing. With blessing and forgiveness, I forgive you. Please forgive me. Kind of like the I'm not pronouncing this right. Ho'oponopono. Anybody know what I'm talking about? It's an old Hawaiian tradition where they say, I'm sorry, please forgive me, I love you, and there's one more thing that I don't know. But in your case, please be very specific. It has to match your subconscious. So, if there's nothing, ho'oponopono, okay. It has to match your subconscious belief about the universe. So if you believe in God, if you believe in a certain religion, If you need to ask Allah to do it for you, if you need to ask Jesus to do it for you, you go back to whatever your strongest programming is, the higher power, and ask for forgiveness and ask for blessings and ask not you, but that power to dissolve these cords between you and that person that you have created. This is what you need to do with cords. So what I like about the story is the fact that she's been with this boyfriend that she's updated me on many times, and the relationship is fine. It's way better than she ever thought possible, okay? Because the previous SB, he also had a complicated family situation, and like she said, it would have been super complicated and what have you, but she had feelings for him. What I like about the story is that it's long-term. It's long-term. It's not just like, Mona, I met this guy and he's great and he's so much better than my SB. I happen to know she's been with him for close to 3 years. I happen to know that when you let go of your obsessions and you do this work exactly the way I tell you to do this work, you will get much better than what you thought you knew was the best option for you. Hi, Yasmina. Oh my God, I'm so happy to see everybody. Thank you for logging on. Is there somewhere I can read this so I can do it on my own time? I will post my suggested text, like what I would say in my group. But what I want you to understand is that it has to feel real to you when you say it. So you have to sort of surrender. You have to acknowledge what you have done, that you've created this cord, that you've taken something from someone, that you may have left a significant piece of yourself in their energy system because your intention was to imprint on them. And now you don't know how to undo this. And because of that, this can make your life stuck in several other areas. So this is your awareness, step of awareness. Then it's step of, I can't do this on my own. Even though I've done the connection, I don't know how to undo it. So now I need forgiveness from this person that I even tried it. Okay, I need a blessing for him. I need to wish even better for him than I wished for myself right now. Because I went in there trying to take his consciousness, trying to take the fact that he didn't really want me and turn him into like someone who wants me, right? So my intention was to take from him and turn that around into a blessing for him. And it has to be real to you. And you have to ask that a higher power is doing that for you. And then the text matches your own, the way you speak and the way you would speak to God, the way you would speak to the higher power. You have to acknowledge this, because on your own, you can't do anything in this regards, in cutting cords. So that's the idea. The way I would phrase it and the way I have done it with people, like if I ever have a dream of someone, and actually this happened to me with women as well, with people who I was friends with, and maybe the relationship didn't work out or faded over time, you know, and if I have a dream about them, a dream with feelings I'm talking about, I'm always back to this thing. I'm sending you a blessing. I'm giving you back whatever I took from you unknowingly. If a part of me was left with you, I ask that it's returned to me. I want your life to be great. I want my life to be great. May God dissolve what wasn't supposed to be mine, what wasn't supposed to be there. I don't want to take from anyone, and I don't want anyone to hold anything of mine. So I want that piece of my soul returned to me. And you have to do this individually, depending with how many people you've done this with, or you've left behind. Definitely with people you also broke their hearts or what have you. Maybe they have cords that maybe they keep thinking of you. Send them blessings constantly, right? But send them from your heart. It's not like, now I'm gonna sit down with a candle and I'm gonna do this thing. It's not like that. It's like, it has to be real. Okay, you understand? I want to see if I have any questions. Is it only for relationships you do work for? I'm not sure what that means. This works with the cord cutting. Well, listen, if you wanted a job, a specific job, that's different, right? Because it's not necessarily that you created a cord. In the case with the workplace, in that case, it's not a consciousness that you attached yourself to. It's still part of you. It's still part of like your own internal obsession that you need to work there. I'm not sure if that was the question. So that's much simpler work in realigning yourself and being like, you know what, that probably wasn't even the right opportunity for me if it didn't happen. How do you know if your SP is right for you? If your SP is right for you, number one thing is you have to be right with yourself to begin with. That's why I tell everybody, if you start this work when you are single, is the best time to start this work. You have to be right with yourself and know what matches you. It is not enough to have chemistry or be infatuated with someone and that determines he is right for you. Because the question, Mimi, would be, he's right for what? For what aspect of me? Is he right for me to, because I always want to be touched by him and held by him? Is it because the chemistry we have? Is it because when I look at him, I really see this guy would be a great father, a great husband? What does it mean? What is it that is the role he would fulfill in my life? So you see what I mean? It's hard to answer this question. How do you know if the SP is right for you? What spot do you have in your life that you need a man to fulfill? And that has to do with you. And then the question is this person right for that spot? Like, if I'm looking to be super mega in love with someone, but he's not really into me, and I need that intensity of feeling, and I'm trying to thwart his feelings and his consciousness to be obsessed with me as I am with him, that's wrong. You understand? This is the story that leads to disasters. So go back to like, right for what? What do I want? What do I need? So in her case, this queen, and I try to convince all my queens, you need a PPP. You need a protector, provider, prioritizer, whatever that means in your life. And look, this queen looking back, she's saying, my SP could not have prioritized me. I'm looking now because I have now the relationship with my boyfriend and I know what it should be. And what did he say? He orients his entire life around me. Okay? If you are not a man's priority, it's, in my opinion, like I need to be. I don't think, like a part of you will be missing. Okay, protects, we talked about many times what it means. That's from opening the car door to protecting you emotionally from the BS that he's dealing with on a day-to-day basis maybe. And provider, that just depends on the lifestyle you want to have. I'm not saying multimillionaire. I'm not saying, because I don't believe in that. I don't believe like women should just dismiss all the other men and go for multimillionaires. Those have their own issues. I'm saying, does he want to give to you? Does he want to share everything he has with you? Is he holding back on you? Is he expecting you to put in X amount or he's out? That's what I mean by PPP. Is your SP a PPP? Does he have the values, the resources, the emotional intelligence, the intellectual intelligence to understand how to treat a woman? Yeah, Valerie, if his life doesn't gravitate around you, your life will gravitate around him. I just read that. I don't know if you put a different comment there, but that's what I've seen. And I 100% know that. Oh, your SP is a PPP? Perfect. Do you know? How do you know he's right for you? Does your heart tell you he's right for you? Guys, we're not using our intuition as women as much as we should. We dismiss a lot of our intuition. I see this a lot. There's somebody in our group who sent me an email. I didn't get a chance to reply to my email and I promised her I would. But I feel this person is, the questions she's asking, even though she's been in the group for a long time and she knows where she should be in this regards, the question she's asking is like, she's constantly going against her intuition for logical reasons. That the general feeling of her long email gave me that impression. And you have to know. If you know you're not following your intuition, you're already on the wrong path. You're already on the wrong path, right? I also have this thing that somebody says, I was first led to this work a few years ago by a friend who explained manifesting to me for the first time. She told me to imagine my future self in great detail. A vision came to me at that time and of my son traveling together without time or money constraints. I got a picture of us swimming together in the Mediterranean. It was a very clear scene of us both treading water next to each other. I am not in Italy right now like I envisioned, but I discovered the lake a half hour from my house, and it is giving everything I've always wanted from that scene. My job allows me a lot of time with him, and now that school is out, we've been there every day. This has been a common occurrence of me doing this work. I have an idea, and when it is manifesting, it comes in another form that gives the same feeling, but is better and easier. I find this is a very, very important testimonial because it happened to a lot of us. It happens to me all the time. Okay, I want to say all the time. It reminds me of this book, The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. Okay, he's a Brazilian writer. This book used to be famous like maybe 20 years ago, but it's really top 10. If you haven't read it, you have to read it. And the moral story of that story in the book is that many times the thing you're looking for is like right where you're at. But the problem is you have no ability to see that and understand that and be led there, because it takes a long journey of inner work. In the case of the book, you know, this person traveled, went through a lot in his travels just to come back and find what he was looking for in the place that he was at, in a very, very amazing way, completely manifesting type thing. But when he came back and saw that in the place where he was at, he was a different person. This is the whole point of this work. You are not the same person from 3 years ago because if you were, even if it's still right in front of you, you're not going to see it. So the work and the discovery, which comes with pain and anguish, and it comes with joy and moments of exhilaration when you realize what's happening, what you're doing. Okay, all of this work is what makes you who you are today, which is different than who you were. And if you don't do this work, you're not going to get to this lake or to this scene or to this realization that you're living the moment that you're scripting about. Because the way we're trained and the way we live, we tend to think of situations logically and not see really what's happening behind the logic of that. So for example, I set my mind, I'm in a lake, and I think to myself, this could only happen in Italy, or it could only happen in Spain, or it could only happen in places like this. Then I'm gonna miss it when I'm in a lake in, you know, Muskoka, where I live in Ontario, and I'm having that sensation. But what has happened really is the universe has delivered to me on that sensation, that feeling of being surrounded by the water, of being in this moment, of being. Now, if you want to be in Italy, that's a totally different thing than I want to be in this lake. You understand? Oh, here's an interesting question from Georgetta. Georgetta saying, what you say also applies to a person who is no longer on this plane of existence. She's talking about the cord cutting. Yes, absolutely. It's happening also because there's lingering energy in this world. You see, it's not like when we pass from this existence, and I don't like to go too much into the afterlife, but everybody who exits the system physically, they leave an imprint of their life in this field. Okay, this is how consciousness grows, from everyone's individual life experience of love and pain. When they exit, okay, let's think of this as a dome, an energetic dome, okay? So when someone exits, that imprint is left on the dome as they pass through it, right? So everyone's energetic signature that's ever lived is still surrounding us. And whatever, if part of that still resonates with you, this is why we still have dreams about them. This is why we feel guided by people who have passed, because that energy system, as they exit, their soul, I like to believe the soul gets freed up and goes and just exits this plane of this energetic plane. But the energy system, all their life experience, including the fact that they knew you, including their awareness of you, stays behind in the field. And yes, people who have passed can have energetic impact on those who stay. It's best. All religions tell you to forgive. If you have any sort of religious training, to me, this is the most important thing you take out of that religious training. You need to forgive and you need to give to others. Those two things. But forgiveness, I would say it's even more important. It's freeing you up. I like to pair the forgiveness with the blessing, because sometimes it's easy to say, I forgive this person, he didn't know any better, but I don't want to give him a blessing. He doesn't deserve it. But see, it's this pairing together that will do you good. If you do it, if you understand this so that you do it for real, not just sit there, like I said, with a candle and be like, Mona told me I have to send a blessing to this guy. Oh my God, I don't really want to do it, but I'm going to say, John, okay, bless you, I guess. Because Mona said, it's not the same thing, right? You just have to understand this deeply in your core, why you're blessing them, why it's important. So, cued manifestation, just quickly to touch on that. I want you to always review where your energetic pull is the strongest. And let's say it's a manifestation from the past. Whatever you're trying to manifest in the last 2 years, here's your exercise for the week. Pay attention. Everything that you thought you wanted from 2 years. Now, if you've been doing the 60-day challenge with our group, this is easy. You open all the previous ones and you see what your manifestations were, okay? Put together a list of the ones that you feel were the strongest pull. So let's say I want to be with John. Specifically, let's say it was, I want to win $1 million in order to, or I want to win $100,000 in order to start my business, or get $100,000 to start my business, whatever it was there. And these things didn't happen, the ones that didn't happen, okay? They didn't happen yet. I want you to understand that your life may be stuck until these manifestations come to pass. So for example, you may not be able to open your business until you get this 100,000, because this was a strong projection that you have made and a strong association. It was like a command into a computer system. I need 100,000 and then I will be successful. I need to win $1 million, and then once I feel debt free, or once, I have this money, I will start this project. And nothing will happen for you in terms of advancing you ahead in that direction, because you have put this limit on yourself. Okay? Many times I see testimonials, let's say there's an encouraging video of, keep praying or keep manifesting or keep your faith, and there's people who comment, I kept my faith for so long and nothing ever happened to me. I have believed for 20 years. But listen, if you've believed for 20 years, but you're the same person, if you simply outsource everything to, let's say, God, and you said, God, make me a house, make me get me a spouse, make my mom get better in her health, do all these things, and none of this happened. Okay, now you're like, I completely lost faith. You're praying the wrong prayers. Your number one prayer should be, God, make me better. And if you're not necessarily religious, if you don't use prayer, I suggest you use prayer. I told you guys I pray all the time. Guys, remember I put together this thing, right? For us to work on. By the way, you can do this next year too. I'm not going to put out any other new products or what have you, because I think this is a lot of work for us for next 3 years. What I want you to understand, what is this? I want to be better. It's the same thing. It's saying, I need to work on me to be better. Okay? And when I'm better, hang on a second, my intuition on what to do next, I become aligned and I become better. I cannot stay in this cycle of me being the same person every single day and just being like, bless me with the home, bless me with the spouse, bless me with God, the neutral machine, us. Okay? You already have what the person you are today can have. That's all this person can have. You need to become better or different. Put out something else. Forgive, bless, have better reactions, have better imagination, develop all of these things together, and you'll see everything will change. Okay? You need to be different. Don't say you've been believing for 20 years and God hasn't built your home, because you haven't bettered yourself every day to recognize, hey, here's an opportunity that will advance me by 10K this year. And from this next year, oh, here's a, God, show me what to do next in order to get to my house, in order to meet my person. Show me who needs to leave my life right now in order for me to find that husband. What am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong in my dating life that I can't meet a quality person? It's always bring it back to you. And always say, I want to be more. I want to be more. Forget about having more. Right now, if you've tried, if you're at this for 20 years, for 10 years, right now, it's about you. It's not about what you get, what you don't get, what you can't get, what you haven't gotten. It's about, I need to change. Guys, I need to change, right? Obviously, the person who's me today cannot get it, cannot advance, cannot have beyond this. So what do I need to be? Let's see. Where can I improve? Show me where I need to be better, and prepare yourself. The next thing, I want to give like a very subtle example. Someone cuts you off in traffic. Or you're going to be like, oh, I need to be more patient, more understanding with people. That person was in a rush. I'm not in a rush. Bless you. Go. Vaya con Dios. Right? Or you might realize that your instantaneous reaction was to get so angry, so agitated. Okay? You come home. There's still dishes your husband hasn't done. You know what I mean? Your inner reaction is, well, your outer reaction will show you what your inner reaction is. But sometimes we don't even outwardly react. We just get this rage inside. And so what happens? That's who you are. That's what you're projecting. Right? It feels so good to crash out though. You know what? I used to think that a long time ago. I don't think that anymore. I see that now every time I crash out. It doesn't happen to me often, but when I do, I realize it's taken something from me. It's like it's taking part of your progress away. Especially when you crash out at somebody you love, like your child, your husband, your parent, your sister. Like it's not for free. It's not. It's taking something out of you, and it shifts the relationship. You know what I mean? So it's good. Just focus on you and be like, I want to be better. Trust me, if you wake up with this thought, I want to be better, I want to forgive everyone and bless everyone, I just want to be better. I don't want to need to crash out in order to feel good. I just want to feel good. Right? Okay. I saw a video I want to talk about, and it was a video on previous manifestation coach. She was just classical manifestation coach. I think I've seen her manifestation content before. I might have, because she looked familiar, but I'm not sure. She deleted her old content, but her face looks familiar. And basically she was saying, I used to be a manifestation coach, and I used to I even worked with Bob Proctor, and you know, basically her story was, I used to do all these things specifically, and my life crashed in 2 years or 3 years. And she was doing this with her dad. I guess her dad was a coach too, and then the dad deleted himself, unfortunately, and so her life kind of unraveled negatively, and she was basically preaching the message, you know, back to Jesus, and ask for forgiveness, that I've even tried these things, and what have you. So, which I talked about before. I think I actually did a stitch on that video, but then I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna, I don't know if I need to post those kind of content, but I think it's important for the group that's following me to know. Maybe I'll post it, I don't know, I'll think about it. It's basically this, you know, I want to choose my words carefully, okay? I thank God that I've always had a relationship where I understood God, and I understood that I'm not God before I made the connection between the way we're supposed to operate and reality. And I've always seen manifestation or reality creation as an ability that we were given by the Creator that was edited out of our education system. Maybe for good reason, okay, with some, because our consciousness level, especially in some people, is very low and they would use it for evil. So, good thing, you know, I never thought, oh, let me pause my religion right now and do some witchcraft because my religion isn't working out for me. That was never my thought. My thought was like, I wasn't trained in this, and there's a layer to this reality that responds to my intention, and it responds to the person that I am. It responds to it differently based on how I feel. If I feel differently, it responds differently. And if I feel or believe a certain way, it responds another way. But it's all created not by me and not evolved from an amoeba, definitely. So, unfortunately, what I'm realizing is that there's this whole community of people that didn't have a religious training, that maybe they didn't believe in God or didn't have a religious training from the home, right? They were under the classical model of we evolved from a single cell organism to multi-cell organism and so on. And all of a sudden they got this idea that, you know, my thoughts can affect reality and I'm gonna 369 and everything, right? Everything. They've done these things and holy shit, they realize it's working. But it's working in a way they can't control it. Like, it's working to such an extent that they realize what they have done. And it's a whole manifestation fiasco. And, you know, they probably did the SB thing and made people obsessed with them sometimes. They came back, okay, which damaged them more. They probably did things, I don't want to speculate actually, because it's not, that doesn't put us in a good place in the discussion. But basically, it was a fiasco. But they realized that it's real. Because otherwise they wouldn't ask God for help, right? So now they realize, holy smokes, I don't have a relationship with God. I thought I was God. I thought there's nothing outside of me. I'm the only consciousness that exists. And now they need to go back into a religious box, training, something, because it doesn't match. Do you know what I mean? They can't go back to the amoeba view, okay? They can't go back to evolve from monkeys. They can't proceed forward with this intention thing because, you know, their life has not landed in a good place. And they don't have the overall understanding of life and death and whatever else you're supposed to get from having a religious training where you're not in charge of this life in any way. And you're not making anything happen in any way. And so they go back to this and they're saying, you know, please stop whatever you're doing and let each day, you know, just give each day to Jesus and what have you. And there's nothing wrong with being a religion. The religion is in place for a reason. Religion is in place because people cannot self-train ethically, morally. The majority of people, they can't do this. They need direction. But if you understand, God created this whole system. I am allowed to have a good life. God wants me to have a good life. Get it? I'm not punished in any way for any original sin. That's not even mine. I can't be perfect, but I want to help people and I don't want to hurt anyone. And with this intention, I want to tap in and be like, how can I change myself to be better in order to attract better results and circumstances? This is the manifestation I teach. If you have it like this, how can this be against God in any way? In fact, this is the design that I understand from my religious training. These things you can do, I can do also. No, these things I can do, you can do also. This is a famous quote from the New Testament. Jesus said that. Do you mind telling us who this creator is? Maybe I'll post a stitch that I made. I can't remember. But I have it in my drafts. Because then I was like, I don't want to feel like I'm attacking her. You know, she's gone through this loss. Her father deleted himself because of this work. Oh, and by the way, I don't like when people associate someone like Bob Proctor with whatever manifestation rituals they're doing. Bob Proctor was a legend in self-development. He never taught any rituals. He didn't even talk about religion. I'm very, very familiar with his content. Basically, Bob Proctor died in his 80s, and he started to do self-development work in his 20s when he was broke, and he became a multimillionaire, but also a very stable guy, you know, married, kids, everything proper. And I watched a lot of his content over the last 15 years. And Bob Proctor was all about think and grow rich. There's nothing wrong with being rich. You need to work on yourself every day. These are some main ideas from Bob Proctor. You need to work on yourself every day. You need to be the primary focus of yourself, and only by becoming a better person will you be able to give the best to other people. Something along those lines. And he was like, I remember one of his speeches was like, oh, you know, I have been fascinated with myself for the last 50 years. And every day when I have a thought, I'm trying to understand, where's that thought coming from? Is this thought beneficial to me? Is this thought coming from my subconscious train? Is this somebody else's thought? Like, is this my father's poverty thought? Is this what my mom said about men that I'm projecting on men right now, right? So he was constantly about dissecting his own thought process and selecting only what was good for him. And his life was a proof of this. He passed away, I think, in his sleep in his late 80s. After teaching in his 80s, he was super healthy. Family, riches, wonderful life, one positive person. So I just don't appreciate when somebody would use Bob Proctor to be like the dangers of manifestation. You know, because it's not, yeah. So going to this with the right approach, with the right mindset about your place in the world. You're not God, and you don't have the right to enslave other people. My intention, by the way I see it is, if it's not the will of God, it's not going to happen anyways. So I might as well ask for it, right? I ask for a husband that takes care of me, or a husband that, you know, is a certain way. But if it's not the will of God, it's just not going to happen anyways. I might get just a husband that's whatever it is for me, whoever I'm vibrating with. So I never think that I'm trying to twist the hand of God. Like, I won't be able to do that. It's never in my mind, oh, I'm doing something wrong. God doesn't want this for me. Like, God doesn't want that. It's not going to happen. Very simple. But I think everybody should pray. And neuroscientists like Andrew Huberman, they come online now as of maybe a couple of years ago. I heard him say that he switched his approach to daily prayer. I was like, wow, when a neuroscientist and a pure scientist comes online and says something like this, I've been doing something right. You know what I mean? Like, I just understood God wants me to have a good life. But there's many things that God needs to help me with, like forgiveness and true blessing of others that have done me wrong. It's not easy to send a true blessing to somebody who's done you wrong, guys. You know? I've done this recently with someone, and I got to that level a couple months ago. Somebody who really cheated me of some money and my trust. And it took me a long time to be able to send them a real blessing. Obviously, I'm not in touch with them, but I could not have sent them a blessing before. I said many times, I forgive you, you know. But a true blessing, it took me a few years to be able to give. Bob Proctor, yeah, he got popular for being in The Secret, yeah. What a book that was, huh? It opened up this whole realm of possibilities. Like I said, education. This has been edited out of our education system. And when that book came out, it was like, well, many people took it as a magical book or what have you, but it wasn't. The book, The Secret, in my opinion, was like Guys, you've been missing a big part of what you're supposed to be doing on a day-to-day basis in this world. Do you think the Gnostic texts are true? I can't find a video, but I think you talked about it before. Yeah, but what specifically do you are you asking about the Gnostic text? Are you talking about the apostles and what they were able to do and the writings around that were... People refer to Gnostic texts as different things. So are you thinking about what people consider have been edited out of the Bible? Some of this are published, by the way. What do you think about when they say just decide as a way of manifestation? Good question. Again, I bring it back to who you are. If you just decide you're a CEO, but inside you don't have the right understanding of the world, the confidence, the intellectual capacity to understand that you need a certain training and a certain way of being with your staff to be a CEO. This is just like a silly example I'm giving. I can decide all I want. I want to be a CEO, but if I'm missing these things, it's just not going to happen. But usually when people decide, like, I want to start a business, I want to be a CEO, it's because there's a seed in them that's already predestined or oriented that way. And if you, the ego, okay, understand the spirit's call, and the ego aligns with the spirit as opposed to, no, I'm going to do what I want. I'm going to wake up at 12 p.m. I'm going to get angry with people. I'm going to be dismissive of people. I'm going to be anxious. I'm going to, be depressed. That's the ego, okay? When the ego says, okay, I want to be a CEO. What do I need to do next? Show me. Oh, I need to take this course and the certification. Oh, I need to start calling companies and start sending emails and start doing... Your actions, which come from the ego, align with the seed of what you just decide, you're gonna get there. If you just decide, if you only have the seed and the ego is against you, which is the problem of most people who are trying to go in a certain direction, the ego is just against them, it's not gonna work, because the ego is what drives this world. Very few people are guided by the spirit within them. It's the construct. You see, here's another concept to understand. Everyone has a unique life experience, okay? Everyone. And based on this life experience, their life unfolds on autopilot. So all these beliefs that are put in our subconscious, the easiest way to comprehend this is a lot of people who are identical twins, they have sort of the same type of destinies in life, but people who are brother and sisters or two brothers, many times they can have totally different trajectories in life. But why? Because when you're an identical twin, you get the same parents who are two people who are at the same exact point in their lives. You get the same teacher, right? You're in the same classroom together. You get the same set of friends at the same time in the same exact manner. Many times you get the same clothes. And so whatever gets imprinted the same. But when you have a brother and a sister and they're like 3 years apart, those people got different parents, right? The first person got two parents who never had kids. The second person got two parents who were experienced with having a kid. The first person may have gotten better parents or worse parents than the second person, the second brother, right? By the time the second person came around, the parents may have been in a better financial position and had less limiting beliefs, or in a worse financial position and had worse limiting beliefs. So even within the same family, unless you received the same exact imprint, I want to say training, on subconscious imprint, your life is going to be very different. So it's important to understand that what works for me, for Joanna, for Jennifer, might not work for you, because you got to understand how you perceive life through your own unique experience. And you have to do, I'm going to just put this away, daily work, connecting your core beliefs, emotions, and just the way you react to things and who you are. You have to do the Bob Proctor, okay? Listen to some Bob Proctor. You won't find a bad video of Bob Proctor. You won't find a filler video of Bob Proctor, honestly. everything he says is like this connection between understanding self and what happens. Take responsibility. Understand your parents very well. Understand all your childhood very well. What has happened to you inside your mind? What were, even if you don't want to admit, whatever your mom was saying when you were growing up, it's in your mind. Whatever interactions you saw, it's in your mind. I see this in my own family. I have a lot of similar things and similar view, even if I didn't want to, as my mom did. And then I look at someone like else in my family and they're very similar to their mom, even though they're completely different generation, grew up with a different set of values, you know, like in the 90s and your mom in the 60s or 70s. It's, man, the energetic signature, it's exactly the same. And the subconscious message is exactly the same. Their relationship with the men they have is exactly the same, except it fits the circumstances of these times. But the underlying thing is the same. I hope you get what I'm saying, because I don't want to give too much detail about my family, but you have to understand this about yourself. And as much as you think you're different than your mom or dad or whoever raised you, their ideas are in there. Let's see. The Secret was a book that brought about an epochal change of consciousness. Yeah, because people realized there was something that but you see, people were trying to use it as a magical tool, never understood how to use it because it's not a magical tool. Oh, we're back to the Gnostic. Are you talking about the Gnostic texts that the God from the Old Testament was different or evil? That's a different discussion for a very long life. But there's some truth to that. Not different or evil. Not different. God, I don't know if I want to talk about religion that way. I don't know. It's difficult. You see, because you have to be familiar with religious texts in order to start a discussion, like I am. But if you just read Genesis, okay, so that's the Old Testament, so the God of the Old Testament, it is very clear. Just I think that has like 8 or 10 pages. It's not even a long read. You will realize in Genesis, God does not understand what human beings will do next. And so, first of all, he didn't understand that, you know, Adam was going to eat the apple or what have you. We know this, right? He was very surprised. But then, also in Genesis, you guys know about Cain and Abel. That's why I'm saying I'm not sure this discussion is, because I don't know if my audience is from all religions and all over the place, and this might not make sense. So Cain and Abel are supposedly the first children of Adam and Eve. It doesn't really add up, like, let's just say. And Cain kills Abel, okay? And God comes back and says, what have you done? So God doesn't know. In the Old Testament, God does not know what humans do on earth. They have to come back in order to see. God has to come back, comes back, sees that Cain has done this. And God says, be gone from here. You also be gone from this place. That this is not the Garden of Evil. You're punished, you're what have you. So Cain says to God, if you punish me, you know, and if you send me away, you know those people are going to kill me, right? You know those people are going to get rid of me because they know what I've done. And I'm not safe out there. And then God says, you're right. I am now going to put a mark on your head, which will tell the others they're not allowed to kill you. Like, God hasn't figured this out in the Old Testament, right? Because in the Old Testament, it's clear God has not understood human nature. He's not understood. He hasn't thought the other people will kill him because he's, you know, a murderer. So now he gets what he deserves. So God is like, oh yeah, I haven't thought this through. And then, you know, the flood. I mean, God has given so many warnings. I don't want to destroy you. I don't want to destroy you. Please, you know, come back. But I'm going to send the flood because it's flawed. You guys are a flawed design. You, the people of before the flood. And with great pain, God sends this flood. So in the Old Testament, it's not that it's evil. It's that God does not understand the creation. I don't know who else is familiar with the Bible, or this sounds heretical. But just if you read it, you realize that this is what's happened. Giving humans free will means God does not understand, does not know, and cannot control what people do next. He can be completely unaligned with his will. This is a profound thing to understand from religion and the Old Testament. My understanding is I have complete free will, and God will never force me to choose him. But he's realizing his old teachings don't work, and it's a certain cycle of the same thing. But he can't send the flood again because he's already promised he won't. Right? The rainbow. Maybe I should do a religious channel, because for those who read. Then he sends Jesus in a new teaching, in a new form, the New Testament. New Testament is no longer about punishment. Why? Because he's realized this doesn't work. It doesn't work. Human beings are going to do whatever they're going to do, no matter how many times they're being punished. And what they do has disastrous consequences of pain and suffering for the other humans that have no say in it, like children. And we know, even today. Right? So the New Testament has a totally different approach. I'm going to leave it here. It has a totally different approach to who God is and what God wants, and how God wants us to use our powers for good, and how if you follow the New Testament in terms of your behavior, your life can't possibly be anything but better for you inside. I mean, achieving the true forgiveness, achieving all of this, knowing that you have the power to affect reality, knowing that you're not supposed to be sick, right? I mean, Jesus only got popular in those times historically because he was able to heal. So everybody was sick, of course, in those times. You have this power too. You have the right to live well, and to, if you believe these things can be done. This is why he came back as a man, right? Because if you can do these things as a man, then we can all do it. That's the thing. But remember, Jesus prayed, if it is your will. I'm the same. Like, I don't want to do anything bad to anyone else. I don't want to take from anyone else. There's so much. This universe is so generous. It's so well put together. I just want to understand it. I just want to tap into this understanding of what I'm supposed to do next, and who else can I help, and how can I better myself. And I'm just gonna leave it here. Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be back. I love talking to you guys about this. If you have any questions, I know I got questions in my group. I'll take it up next week. And if you have any other questions, let me know. Love you guys. Let's do the 369 I am a winner to access our nervous system. One breath in. I am a winner. 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 I am a winner.